Looking for a fairly warm weekend across the valley. If you like today's weather, about the same in terms of temperatures for the weekend, mostly back in the low 80s or so for highs. Clouds may be in and out of the skies more at times tonight and Saturday. That could lead to a sprinkle or even a very brief shower, but 95% of the time is looking dry, if even that much or more. So it's going to be a dry weekend for most of you, just maybe a sprinkle in spots. Breeze is picking up a little more by Sunday. There's also a weak cold front arriving early next week by about Monday night, but emphasis on the weak part because temperatures barely going down behind that front, and then we may have to wait for a stronger front, but next one's way down the road, maybe next weekend. But temperatures warming up today. We have southeasterly winds, not as strong. The breeze is sustained at about 15 to 20 miles per hour or so across the valley, which is a little less than yesterday when we had some of those like 30 mile per hour winds and 40 mile per hour gusts, especially a couple days ago. Current temperatures are back in the 80s, but have cooled a little bit now in the lower valley, down to 79 in Brownsville, still 84 in McAllen, and 82 in Rio Grande City. And this evening, remember about 10 minutes ago I showed you a couple of sprinkles down to the south, so you may catch a sprinkle coming up out of Mexico with the clouds thickening, but most of the time, again, it looks dry. Temperatures in the 70s, falling into the upper 60s late this evening and later tonight. You can see the flow of moisture here on the satellite. Clouds lifting from south and north on the over the valley, and a couple of sprinkles down to the south, but most of these not hitting the ground, but enough moisture in the air that you might get hit by a little sprinkle or two this evening or a very, very light rain shower. Future track shows not a lot going on most of the evening, but you see a few little blips of green in here indicating the possibility of a sprinkle or two in the sky tonight and even tomorrow. But Saturday looks similar to today, just a light breeze around, clouds kind of here most of the day, but a little sun getting through and temperatures back in the low 80s. By the time we get to Saturday night, more clouds thicken again, and there might be a sprinkle or two. And then Sunday, I think Sunday will be a day when it clears out a little more by afternoon, but also gets breezier. So more of a gusty wind possible on Sunday afternoon, but temperatures back in the low to maybe even mid 80s on Sunday. Even Monday still looks like a warm day with maybe just some patchy clouds around at times, but temperatures still back above 80 in most areas. So rain chances are small, like I mentioned, about 10% for Saturday and mainly around 10% or less on Sunday and even on Monday. So you might see a little sprinkle or brief rain shower in a few locations, but most of the time kind of looks like now. And the winds, mentioned the winds not too strong tomorrow. Saturday, future track showing the wind speeds fairly light compared to the last few days, maybe 10 to 20 mile per hour breezes and a few higher gusts. But by Sunday, you see the winds pick up. This kind of yellowish color on the map indicates winds in about the 20 to maybe 30 mile per hour range. So it may be a more windy day on Sunday to finish the weekend coming up. And if you are going to be running tomorrow morning, the Causeway run in Port Isabel, again, the wind's not too gusty there. Southeasterly winds probably about the 10 to 15 mile per hour range between 10 a.m. and noon, with temperatures mostly in the 70s and partly to mostly cloudy skies. We'll do the McAllen Marathon coming up a little bit later. But your first 1570 forecast stays warm over the weekend. Highs still around 80 or better in most areas, with most of the time it's staying dry, just a small chance for a sprinkle now and then, especially in the late night and early morning hours. Even Monday, if you have off for the holidays, should be dry most of the day. There's a weak front we'll show you Monday night and Tuesday that could create a couple of light rain showers, but for most of you, almost no rain for a while. And you see that front isn't very strong. We go from a high of 85 on Monday to maybe 78 on Tuesday, and then it warms right back up again by Thursday and Friday. So point is, there's not much cool air in this forecast for a while, but at least there's a little less wind today and tomorrow than there has been.
And it's all good because lots of folks are going to have a long holiday weekend.
Yeah, if you do, I mean, it's a good warm weekend to get outside.
All right. So, Alan, do you